Well, next up we have Jay Van Lent here. We're talking landscaping design. Welcome.
Hello.
So what are we talking about today? We're talking about obviously maintaining our gardens, but for people who don't really like gardening that much.
Well, yeah, it's a bit of time, isn't it? And people are really busy these days. Most couples are working, both of them are working and things like that. So, you know, busy with the kids in the weekend. So trying to make sure that you're creating a low maintenance garden and not having to be out there weeding all the time. And you have different seasons as well. So obviously, you know, you're going to have plants that aren't going to be always looking as good. So, you know, I try to find easy ways where you've got nice clean lines, really contemporary, and getting plants in the right spot so you don't have to have too many plants. Yeah.
And is it a trend to have everything quite sleek? And I can notice in the photos that you sent us, and that we'll see in a moment, everything's quite sleek, the lines are very finished. Is that like a trend?
It is a trend, yeah. It's been going on for a lot of years though. It's been going on for hundreds of years, but clean lines, repetitive planting can be a lot more easy. Going random planting, it's very hard to maintain. You know, for here we've got a tree where it's the main feature, and we've got simple planting of hedging that will tend to, you know, create the nice green shape that feels that you're nestled in, and really making those trees the main feature. And it means that you haven't got too many pockets of garden to maintain. You know, you can really see that the trees coming out of the patio. You know, this is something we don't generally do. We sort of have the tree back into the landscape. So this sort of some of the contemporary things I'm doing is you can have a hole in your deck or some pavers, just put a tree in the middle of your patio somewhere, and if you can find that nice wee gap for it, it's just really low maintenance, and that umbrella feeling in your backyard can just really give a really lush feel without having too much work.
Yeah, and it's amazing how you can, the cement, you can design that. It doesn't have to be like a slab or a straight colour anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't, no. I tend to use a different colour for a raised area. You saw that patio there was a floating patio, and, you know, sort of made it look like it was floating around the tree. And the lawn there is artificial turf there as well, which that makes it a bit easier, because looking after a lawn is hard work, weeds and watering it. And
so that was artificial lawn?
Yeah, that's artificial lawn.
So how can you tell the difference?
You can when you're close up, but there are some really different kinds of lawn out there that have a lot more brown flecks in it, so it's not too perfect. But no, they're pretty hard to tell from afar.
Wow, yeah. And how cost effective is it?
Well, if you add up your time spending watering fertilisers in my own lawn, she's really cost effective. If you look at the initial hit, yeah, it's a little bit more dearer, but it's really good for animals and things as well, because you have compacted hardfill, so it drains really well. So, you know, you're not going to have lawns boggy with sort of dogs, you know, doos and all that stuff. So yeah, it's really good and clean and good for kids and stuff like that. And great in winter because it's nice and dry.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And
you've brought a special something in for us today. Tell me about this piece here.
Well, this is just using a bit of imagination with a tree wrapping around a rock. And these are things that you can actually do in your patio or things like that. If you have just those special wee features where this is pretty simple, it's just a tree coming around, wrapping around a rock. And you can actually do this in your backyard. You know, you get a big rock put in and concrete around there, or pave or anything like that, and then put a tree actually sort of growing over and around it. So these are kind of things that you can actually do in your backyard and have a bit of fun without having to get heaps of plants and spend forever and a day out there trying to keep it looking good.
Yeah, and this is even something quite cute to have inside as well. Have you ever done big ones inside as like a centrepiece?
I haven't personally, because I find tropical plants, I don't quite like the bigger leaves. I sort of like the outdoor plants. But yeah, there's heaps of people in our bonsai clubs that have amazing indoor plants as centerpieces. Yeah, one day I'll have an outdoor part inside my house, and then I can have something like this inside my house. But
wow, and until that day, we'll wait and see what you come up with next. Yes. It's amazing.
Yeah.